Hello everyone and welcome back to From Zero to CryptoHero, the show where I show you how you can go from zero to $10,000 just by profiting off opportunities you can find everywhere around the blockchain. I haven't done much of those in the last 2 months. It's because mainly I wasn't really excited or thrilled about the rumored airdrops and the airdrops that were happening on ETH and the different other blockchains we've seen recently. But I've seen a few that could be extremely promising on Solana, so I wanted to do a small episode just to talk about how you can profit off those, maybe even with a relatively small amount of money. So we're going to go through a few of these airdrops, but before that, I'm just going to go quickly through what we have right now. I haven't updated everything, but currently we're sitting on roughly $420 worth of NFTs. They are on ETH. At some point, we will be selling the Bakery Genesis, but first I want to see what they do with their perk, because an airdrop is rumored for the holders as well, and we've held since the very start and got it for free. So it's basically only profit for now. And then we above, I'm hoping that we'll get more updates of the team relatively soon, but right now we're sitting on a loss. In terms of NFTs sold, we sold the Cool Pets at a little bit of a loss, but we did get some milk, so it did kind of break even. And the other side NFT, as we got it for free, we have sold it as a total profit, which was very nice. In terms of holdings, we have roughly $670 worth of cryptocurrencies. I've mainly updated the ETH here, so these might be a little bit different, but more or less what we're holding on these different chains. We're going to be using the Avax today as well, but we're mostly going to be focusing on Solana. So why are we focusing on Solana? Well, I'm going to start with talking a little bit about Magic Eden, because it's a marketplace where you can actually start hopefully grinding for free. Magic Eden is easy. It's the second most popular exchange for NFTs on Solana. And what we're going to be doing here is trying to get these little diamonds. Every day, you can go on the rewards page of the website and claim little diamonds. You'll have a big claim here button. And then we don't know what these diamonds are going to be doing, but I think that you'll be able to purchase maybe NFTs or maybe accesses to NFTs with them at least. So it's interesting to just collect them, especially since it's free. Now, there is another way to get diamond that I don't recommend, which is using the Lucky Buy. Lucky Buy is a function on Magic Eden where, for example, if I click on Sol Casino here, I can go on the little Lucky Buy eligible logo right here, and I can basically gamble a percentage of the value of the NFT, and that will also be my probability of winning. So here, as I don't have much Solana and this collection is expensive, for example, I could say, okay, I want to try and get a 1.9% chance of getting that 24 Sol NFT, and it will cost me 0.5. And if I don't win, then I get some gems. I obviously don't recommend doing that, but it's just a good to know. It's not the only way to connect daily, but it is definitely the least expensive way. Now we're going to go into the more serious stuff, stepping away from gambling. We're going to be talking a little bit about lending and staking. So what we're going to be doing first is taking a look at the Jito website. So Jito is the opportunity that we use inside the SwissBorg app. If you look at it, you have two of them. Jito is one of them. And what happens is that you can stake some Solana and you get some Jito Solana at the same time, or when you stake the Solana. So for example, I'll connect my Phantom wallet. I'm not going to be showing you this right now, and I'm going to take 0.25 Solana tokens and deposit them into Jito Solana. I'm going to do this through the Jito website because they're going to be doing an airdrop. If you look at the little points page here, after having connected your wallet, you can see how many points you have. I have 1 point currently, which isn't much, and probably isn't going to be leading to any massive airdrop, but this is because I have only done a transaction to test it before shooting the video. My personal account has a few more points because it has been farming DeFi for a bit, which is what we're going to be doing right now. How are we going to be using DeFi on Solana? Well, I'm going to be talking a little bit about Marginify. Marginify is a website or a platform where you can either lend, borrow, bridge, swap, or earn. What we're going to be focusing on is their lending function. So I'm going to sign in with my wallet and make sure that you don't use a wallet that has too much of your AUM on it, because we are at the end of the day testing platforms that aren't necessarily 100% built yet, and there always is a risk. Even if we try to avoid them, you always have a risk, and we want to avoid losing everything. So make sure you use a wallet that doesn't have too much on it. To go back to Marginify, it's a website where we're going to mainly be focusing on supplying, which means that we're going to be putting our assets into a pool, and people can use it to trade and do whatever they want with it. So here I see that, for example, Blaze has 3% APY on it. It could be interesting. So I'm going to go to the swapping function, and I'm going to select my Solana token, and then I'm going to select Blaze here, and I'm going to take a little bit of Solana, so $2.75 roughly. I don't want to put too much. And then I'm going to be converting it into Blaze. And once that's done, as you can see, the transaction fees are very nice because they're generally really cheap. Here we can see that it's almost nothing. So I approve it. Swap failed. I'll try it again. Maybe I'll put a little bit more, but I don't think you have to. So once the transaction is here, you can see that the fees aren't very high. We approve it. Then the swapping performs itself, and we have got our successful swap. We have the Blaze tokens right here. We're going to go back onto the lend page. Look for Blaze wherever it's standing here. I said with 3%, we can find it, then max, and then we click supply. We have the transaction, and that's it. And you can do this with a few tokens. Maybe USDC can be an interesting one. There's 4%. And the more you supply, the more points you're going to be getting. So here as well, we can check the points. And once we have connected our wallet, we can see that I have 16 points, for example, which puts me on the 18,000 rank, which isn't very good. But the more you supply, the more you'll be able to get points every day. And this is basically how you're going to be farming it. And it also gives you the points here in the DeFi activity. This is the one point that I have. It's actually from MarginFi. So it's quite interesting how there's a synergy here. Now, the next ones I want to talk about are Jupiter and Superstake. Jupiter is a swapping platform, so it's really easy. We're just going to be generating some AUM through it so that we can do other things with it. And Superstake is a degen staking platform where you can stake with leverage any of your assets. So if I look here, I can select my leverage, and then that will allow me to stake more than I have. Now, it's very important to know that if Solana goes too low, it will wipe out our positions and then we'll have nothing left. And this is what leverage is. So it's very dangerous. So I definitely don't recommend putting too much money on it, but it can be interesting to get the airdrop just to have a little bit. So I'm going to use 0.05 MSOL and then 0.05 jito SOL, just so that we are able to be eligible to the airdrop if there is one. And we can not take too many risks by not having too much money at risk on that staking platform. So here I go, I take my $3 and I super stake them. And so basically what it says is that I'll be farming with $5 worth because I'm super staking with a X2 leverage. If you don't want to take as many risks as I do, you can definitely take the slider and scroll it down to 1, which is the safest way to do it. But it's called super stake, so I'm going to be super staking just because it's a different platform, so why not? And I'm going to take $2 and also super stake it in jito SOL. So here I select my 0.05, and then I'll have the transaction up there. And now you can see that my position is increased a little bit, which means that I am staking on Superstake, and I can close this degen website. And if you want to be sure to be eligible for Jupiter, you have to have a bigger AUM than what I just did. So make sure to farm, and then you can also check. I'll put a link below to check if you're already eligible on it, if you already have trades. If you play Steppen, for example, I do. So I have one wallet that is eligible to the Jupiter airdrop. Could be interesting to check it out. So feel free to look at the description to see if your wallet's already eligible if you have some Solana transactions. The last place I want to talk about is actually the most popular NFT marketplace on Solana right now, because they also have rewards. And this is going to be done depending on your AUM. So if you trade a lot, if you take bids, if you sell NFTs, if you buy NFTs through them, you'll be getting some points. And then with these points, you'll be able to be eligible to an airdrop. And these are all guaranteed airdrops, so we will be getting something. But depending on how involved you are, you'll be getting more or less. So I'm just presenting them right here, and then you have to decide if you think it's interesting for you to partake in these or not. It might just not be. So for example, I don't have any SOL left, or not much on my wallet right now. I'm not really able to buy any of these collections, so I won't do it here. But if you had the Solana and you wanted to be eligible to it, you might be able to, for example, go on this collection, select if you want Light or Pro. I'm going to stay on Light, and then just buy the NFT, and then buy the NFT if you have the funds. And that will give you points, and these points will give you eligibility to rewards in the future. The last website I want to talk to you about is Hyperspace. Hyperspace is the AVAX marketplace that has a very, very similar concept to Tensor in a way that you have here the little rewards page. If you verify your wallet, this is going to be done through MetaMask. And if you buy and sell NFTs, you'll be getting trading points. And these trading points are rumored to give you an airdrop. And that will be done in November of this year. So you don't have much time. What I did on my personal account, I'll show you right here because I think I have 3 AVAX. So it should be enough to do. I'm going to select one NFT collection that's at less than 3 AVAX that has a lot of volume. So for example, the Mambonauts have a lot of volume. And then what I do is that I will buy this one, for example, that's at floor. Enable the transaction. I can see that I'm paying a bit in fees. And once that it has been purchased, I'm going to relist it with just a little bit of, or either break even or just a little bit of profit. And I'm going to wait for it to sell and then I'm going to do it again. And this is actually called farming points. It's very boring, but it might be profitable in the future if the airdrop is interesting and if they do maybe multiple rounds of airdrop, which has happened on some of the other marketplaces. So here I can see that in my account, I have purchased my Mambonaut. So I look at the floor price, which is roughly 2 AVAX. So I go here, list it, and I put 2 AVAX, not 1, 2 AVAX. And I can see that it would be listed at 2.05 if I want to get 2 from it. So I'm going to list it at that price. And that would mean that I would basically have a little loss of the transaction fees, but more or less break even, and I will be farming points. So if you can farm points for just a little bit of transaction fees on AVAX, it's probably going to be a good thing, but obviously don't overspend, don't overkill it. It might not be that big of an airdrop. So we're really hopeful for it and we're going to play the game a little bit, but don't lose too much time over it. Do it a few times just so that you have a certain number of points, and if it's very profitable, you'll thank me, and if it wasn't, then you can file a complaint in the comment section. All right, here we go. We've done our little airdrops here. We've done 4 or 5 on Solana and 1 on AVAX. Feel free to look again at the video, maybe slow down some of the points if you didn't understand everything. Ask questions if you have any, I will be answering them. And feel free to use the links in the description to hop from one platform to another. I'll put my referrals down there and it will go back to the community. So it's always a good thing to have. Thank you very much for following. I hope it was clear. I hope it was entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.